In this video, you'll learn how to start a business if you're clueless with no money. And here's exactly what I would do. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel. That way, as I release more content like this, you will get notified. And if you are on YouTube, click on the alert notification button. Now, contrary to popular belief, it does not require a large upfront investment to start a successful online business. And what you lack in funds can be made up for with a little ingenuity, and this video will show you how to start a business with no money whatsoever. But first things first, you have to be determined. And when it comes to determination, you have to be willing to persist with your business for at least 2 years or more, regardless of the outcome. You also need to believe in yourself and understand that you are a person with unique abilities who others want to learn from. Now, if you possess both of these qualities, good things will happen and it won't cost you a cent. So here's a personal story. When I started my first online business, I completely lacked confidence, and I wasn't willing to take any risks whatsoever unless I knew that I was going to succeed. So as a result, I hesitated on the sidelines for many years until my wife became pregnant and decided to quit her job. And finally, the threat of losing half of our household income gave me the kick that I needed to say, screw it, let's just do this. So with just $630, my wife and I started an online store selling handkerchiefs that made over $100K in profit during our first year. Handkerchiefs, how insane is that? Now today, this same store makes well over 7 figures, and to be honest, it still feels completely ludicrous to me. And with mywifequitherjob.com, if you told me that I was going to make over $1 million blogging last year, I would have told you to get the heck out of town. Now, if you're interested in learning how to start your own online store, click on the links below to take my free 6-day mini course on e-commerce. Also, if you're curious, you can click down below to check out my online store. In fact, the mere premise of making significant money selling handkerchiefs, or blogging for that matter, is so ridiculous that I'm often challenged by my readers as to whether my success was a direct result of luck and circumstance as opposed to skill. Did I just happen to stumble upon a small niche that no one else was into? Did I just get lucky that no one else was selling these type of linens online? And the answer is yes. Luck certainly did play a part. It always does. But you have to put yourself out there in order to take advantage of it. So today, I want to address all the watchers of the mywifequitherjob.com channel who are currently on the sidelines with very little money. And I want to address those of you who have no idea where to begin, but want to start your own business someday. How do you convince yourself to begin? How do you lay the groundwork for your future business if you don't feel ready? And today, I'm going to teach you how to start a business with no money, and here's exactly how I would do it. Now, the first thing you need to do is start gathering an audience. Now, before I started my blog, I used to think that no one would care about what I had to say. And as a result, I had extremely low expectations when I first decided to start a blog over at mywifequitherjob.com. And to put things in perspective, I didn't think that anyone would read my blog except for close friends. But then something surprising happened. Very few of my friends took any interest in my writing, and instead complete strangers started emailing me about my experiences and my philosophies on life. I started having conversations with random people, and these random people and I started to become friends. And before long, I had a bunch of regulars reading my blog. And just a side note, this was actually the complete opposite of what I expected to happen. I actually expected many of my friends to take an interest in what I was up to. I expected my friends to be 100% supportive of everything that I was working on. But I did not expect total strangers to care at all. After all, why would people care about some random Chinese dude on the internet? And the truth is that people care what you have to say. You just have to find the right people to talk to. But the only way to find these people is to put yourself out there. So even if you have no money, there are a variety of ways to create a following. So for example, there's this Asian kid I follow on YouTube who has over 1 million subscribers to his channel, and his name is Kev Jumba. Now, Kevin's actually not that active on YouTube anymore, but he actually started out by posting silly videos of himself dancing online. And then he used a cheap webcam to record himself talking about his beliefs and his philosophies on life. Now, things started out slow, but year after year, he started gathering more and more followers to his channel, and over time, he developed a huge following. And because of YouTube, he now makes a living creating his own films and producing his own movies. And here's just one of his early videos, which I found hilarious. And as you can tell, it's not that professional, and the quality of the video isn't amazing, but the guy put himself out there and he's famous. Like, Kev Jumba is way bigger than this channel. So here's the thing. Kevin was only 18 years old when I first started watching him online. And you would think that a 40-year-old dude would have no interest in what an 18-year-old would have to say. But Kevin was spunky, funny, and I liked his attitude. Not only that, but the reason I followed Kevin had nothing to do with the production quality of his videos, which were pretty bad early on. There was just something about the guy that resonated with me, and I wanted to know what he was up to. And this is exactly what you need to do. So even if you have no clue what business you want to start later on in life, and even if you have no money, you need to put yourself out there. I started mywifequitherjob.com by writing on a consistent schedule about life, family, and e-commerce. People found me via search, social media, word of mouth, and my readership gradually grew over time to where it is today. And once I developed an audience, making money became an afterthought. Because when you have a large group of raving fans interested in what you have to say, the money will come. And you have to trust me on that. The hard part is finding and gathering your fans. And today, we live in a day and age where you have lots of options depending on what you want to do. I personally chose to start a blog. This is a YouTube channel that I started, but there's many other low-cost options to choose from. So you can pull a Kev Jumba and start your own YouTube channel for free. You can start a podcast. I've run the mywifequitherjob.com podcast since 2014, and it was very inexpensive to start, and you can create your own personal radio station. You can start an e-commerce store. You can create a compelling Facebook fan page. Or you can start a blog for under $3 in under 5 minutes. And if you look in the notes below this video, here are 40 more ways to generate some cash. So you have no excuse whatsoever. Anyway, once you've developed your fan base, it is essential to retain them as you continue to build your brand. And in the case of mywifequitherjob.com, 99% of my early readers would come, read a single article, and then leave forever. So instead of missing out on a potential regular, I started gathering email addresses using a service called Aweber. Just a quick note, I'm no longer using Aweber. And if you're looking for a good email provider, I'm currently using Drip. There's going to be a link below this video. Now, in return for a reader's email address, I would give away a free 6-day mini course on e-commerce. And 9 times out of 10, that reader would stick around after the mini course to check out my new articles and updates. In fact, I have my readers on my blog who have stuck with me for over 10 years. You know who you are, and I am very thankful. Now, the key is to retain your existing audience while simultaneously attracting new fans. This way, your audience count has nowhere to go except up. And one thing that I like to tell my friends is that my blog is like a stock that only increases in value. As long as I keep doing what I'm doing, it can only get better, not worse. Now, once you've gathered a small group of raving fans, is when the fun begins. And it is infinitely easier to start a business when you already have an established base of potential leads. So using my blog as an example, if I ever wanted to develop an e-commerce plugin for Shopify or BigCommerce, I could instantly gather a user base of customers by sending word out to my email list and my blog. I could also leverage my audience to gather ideas for products to sell, even if I had no idea what to create. Heck, I could create a YouTube video on what I wanted to sell. When I launched my annual e-commerce conference, the Seller Summit, I instantly sold out of tickets because my loyal fans wanted to attend. So the possibilities are endless once you have that audience. Now here's a real-life case study of a student in my Create a Profitable Online Store course who built a small audience and started making money right away with online webinars. Ari Chung is an artist who writes and illustrates children's books for a living. And as we all know, you can't make real money as an artist, right? Wrong. First off, Ari is Chinese, and I have no idea how his parents actually allowed him to become an artist as opposed to an engineer, lawyer, or doctor, but that's beside the point. Ari is a talented artist with a unique skill that other people want to learn. So one day he decided to give an online tutorial on how to create a children's picture book from scratch. He simply emailed his list of less than 100 people, gave an hour-long online webinar, and made over $4,000 in one shot. He didn't have a product, but his presentation was so compelling that people were willing to pay him for a course they hadn't even created yet. Crazy, right? Here were his exact numbers for that webinar that day. Ari emailed a list of 80 people. 60% of the people who attended his live webinar purchased his class, and he generated $4,315 without a post follow-up sequence. He didn't even have a website. And what's funny is that when he first told me about this webinar, I was very skeptical. I didn't believe that there were people out there willing to pay hundreds of dollars to learn how to create a children's picture book of all things, but apparently I was wrong. Now, if you stop and think, there are over 7 billion people in this world, and somewhere out there is someone who will pay to learn from you. But you'll never reach these people unless you try. Remember, you don't have to be an expert to charge for your services. You just have to be helpful and provide a benefit. After all, what does it really mean to be an expert anyway? And as far as I know, there's no expert credential or placement test. We are all expert enough, and that is what matters. So take some time to document your skills and start spreading your knowledge. So overall, making money is infinitely easier if you have an audience, and it doesn't cost any money to build one. So if you take anything away from this video, please remember this. Start creating something today and put yourself out there. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just take your smartphone and start recording videos about your philosophies on life. Find something that you're good at and start talking about it. Put together some tutorials about a recent skill you've acquired. At first, you will be skeptical that anyone will be interested in what you have to say, but there's always someone out there who will care. You just have to find the right audience, and I bet Kev Jumba had no idea that he'd be attracting people almost twice his age to his YouTube channel. And the point is that you'll never know unless you try. Start gathering an audience now, and you will have the courage to start your own business someday. I guarantee it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Now, if you like what you saw, there's actually a lot more where that came from if you subscribe to my channel below. And if you are interested in learning how to sell physical products online, then click over here and take my free 6-day mini course where I'll walk you through everything that you need to know to get started in e-commerce. Thanks for watching.